EdYoda, the end of your job search and the beginning of your dream career. EdYoda's live sessions are taught by industry experts, giving you hands-on experience and practical knowledge with real projects, not just degrees. EdYoda's industry-recognized certifications will help you stand out in the job market. And that's not all. With EdYoda's exclusive job board featuring 500+ companies, finding your dream job has never been easier. Say goodbye to endless job searching and hello to your dream career with EdYoda. Join EdYoda's student community today and start building your dream career.
Hi everyone. Resume making, and I want you all to make the best resume. So for this duration, and possible. So before we begin, a quick reminder to you all, if you haven't still clicked on the like button yet, now would be the right time to do it. And subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon so that we can keep bringing more workshops like this. All right, now a quick hi. Let me know, all of you watching, a quick hi in the chat box so that I can see you all. And it'll be great to know from where are you watching this workshop from. I'll tell you, I'm watching from Bangalore. Let me know from where. I'm doing this workshop from Bangalore. Let me know where are you seeing this workshop from in the chat box below. All right. So we'll begin. And first thing that comes to your mind when I say resume, most of the times if you're a fresher or if you're making resume for the first time, what happens is that either you are scared or you are not confident, or maybe you are thinking, Rishabh, resume making is difficult, man. I'm not able to make this. Or you are thinking, I might make some mistakes in resume making, man. Some mistake will happen. Or final thing that a lot of people have fear of is that, Rishabh, my resume will get rejected. What to do? But let me tell you, if you are thinking any of this, not to worry. This happens to all of us. All right. If you are making resume for the first time, if you haven't created resume at all, or if you have created resume and if you have some experience also, it happens to all of us. All right. But resume making is easy. Let me repeat that again. Resume making is easy. All right. It is nothing like it is difficult or you won't be able to do it. It is a skill and you all can do it. So before we start actually learning how to make resume and the best resume, I want you all to say it loudly to you if you are in a room or if you are seeing this on mobile or wherever you are seeing this. I want you all to tell that resume making is easy. All right. If you are in some crowded space, okay, you might tell it later. But if you are alone, if you are in your own room, I want you all, before you actually see the complete session, I want you all to say resume making is easy. And I want you all to say it because when you say it, it has a better impact than just thinking. So our motto for today is going to be resume making is easy. All right. Anytime you come across any difficulty in resume while making it, just think these lines. Resume making is easy. And then I'm sure whatever problem you're struggling with, you'll be able to find a solution to that. All right. So with the motto that resume making is easy, we'll begin our workshop. And what are we going to do in today's workshop? I'll give you a basic idea so that you all know what's going to happen in the next minutes or the whole time that you're going to spend here. What are you going to learn? Now, like I told you, resume making is a skill. All right. And before you actually make the resume, you need to know the basics of how to create that resume. What are the recruiters looking for? What should you put in that resume? Like resume, okay, we will make. But without knowing the actual basics, what is it that the recruiter needs? It'll be difficult to make resume. So we'll be taking a look at that. And let me tell you some interesting facts. All right. Before we actually start the complete process of making, do you know recruiters on an average spend 7 seconds on a resume. So you create that resume for so long time, and at the end, when the recruiter is looking from that company, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, over. So only 6 to 7 seconds you have to impress the recruiter that whether to take you to the next round or not to take you. So how less time we have to convince the recruiter that you are the right one for the job, all right? And if we see, if we 2 to 3% of the total resumes that is sent for one job, let's say 1 lakh the resumes are spent. Out of that, only 2 to 3% go for the next round, which is interview. All right. So it doesn't, you don't have to feel that, oh, if my resume is not selected, then oh my God, what am I going to do? No, only 2 to 3% get selected. So your time will come. We just have to keep applying. And 10% of the job seekers have applied for more than 50 companies without hearing back from single one of them. This again happens that suppose you are applying for a lot of companies and nothing is happening, you're not getting any result, no one is telling anything, you're not getting any calls, no emails, nothing. You might think, man, Rishabh, my resume is not at all good, nothing is happening. But if you see the stats, it happens to everyone, so you don't have to worry. This is the part of the process of like applying for any job. So even if your resume is really good, best that we are trying for, we want to make the best, even then it will take time to get that job. And that is why we are going to learn everything that we need to know so that we can make the best resume. All right. So we have got the motivation. I know you all have got it. We are now full ready with our motto. Resume making is easy. All right. So let me start screen sharing so that we can all actually begin first with this session. All right. So let's go. Resume making, and I am Rishabh Chatterjee, and we'll be having this session together, you and me. Okay, so what are we going to learn in today's session? All right. First, very important, what is resume? Because you need to know what is this resume that we are talking about. So much you are telling Rishabh, resume. What is this resume, man? What is it? So we'll be talking about that first. Second, components of resume. Now, resume making can be done in any manner, like some way you are making a resume, but we want to do it in a structured manner properly so that we plan all the components and at the end we want best resume. Third, we'll be taking a look at some sample resumes because at the end of the day, when we see few resumes, we will get better idea of how to make our resume and how to make it best. And at the last, I will show you one of the resumes that I have made and I'll show you few process of how to actually make it. All right. So this is going to be completely what we are going to learn today. So I hope you all are excited and let's begin. All right. Objective: to make the best resume that gets selected. Okay. Now this is what we are going to do today. And let's go. First, very, very important. We need to know what is this resume? What is this resume, Rishabh, you're talking about? I need to know. Resume, what is it? So a resume is a formal document that a job applicant creates to itemize their qualifications for a position. So in simple terms, if I tell you, if you are applying for certain job, all right, this certain page, nowadays it's soft copy. So this page is what is going to show the recruiter that you are the right one for the job and why should they take you or hire you for that particular job. That is the basic aim of that resume. Okay. Without meeting you, without knowing who you are, that resume should give an idea of how you are suitable for the job that you are applying for. Okay. Simple. Now, components of resume. Now, when we are actually creating a resume, as I told you, it's very important to know the structure because now I have seen people creating resume in any manner, like first they fill any component, then they go to any other component, then they fill certain other section. At the end, They also can make a resume, but it's a little bit complicated and we don't have the clarity of thought. So we need clarity. We want to make resume making easy, and to make it, we need to have a proper plan. We are going with a plan from the start so that we can make the best resume and in an easy way. That is the main thing. Best resume, easy way. Okay. So what are the components? Personal information. What is this? We'll be talking about in little bit more detail. Stay tuned, stay tuned. Everything is going to come, but let's take a look briefly first. Personal information, then objective, then we have education, and then we have work and related experience, activities, hobbies, and skills. Now, these are some of the components that we are going to be taking a look while making a resume. But let me tell you at the start only that some components you might not have in your resume and you might get selected also. So it's not like you have to all the components. Okay, these are important components that you need to have so that you can fill your resume. It should not look like it's empty. All right. So resume should look good and it should be full. Now, starting with first, personal information. This is name, current location, telephone number, and email address. Now, what do I mean by this? This is how the recruiter will contact you. So it's very important to have this information. All right. We'll continue. I hope you all are enjoying the session. Okay. So first we spoke about personal information, and if you are enjoying the session, a quick click on the like button so that I also get the motivation because I'm able to see your like. So quickly click on the like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, quick subscribe. All right. So moving on to the next, objective. Now, what is this objective? Now you can see in the picture itself here that this is where we have summary or objective. Okay. What is it? In one short sentence, summarize your goal for a job. Now, one short sentence meaning is few sentences, but basically whatever you want to do, whatever your goals are, you need to have that in this particular paragraph. The goal statement should be related to the specific position for which you are applying. It is also effective to highlight your skills in the goal statement. Okay, this is objective. Now, you might be thinking, Rishabh, so much theory you are telling, man. I want to make the resume fast. But it is very important that you know these basics at the start, because if you don't know the basics, when we start making, you won't know why we are making it. Like simple example, if I give you, let's say we are learning to ride a scooter. Okay. Now right side we have accelerator. Then we have brake on the left side. Accelerator is for going or moving, making the scooter move. Left side we have brakes. Right side also we have brakes. Now we need to know what is the brake for, to stop, right? If you don't know what is this brake function for, it'll become a little bit more difficult. Not that if you don't know what is it while riding, you will get to know, but it's better that you know the theory first. So that is why we are seeing the theory first, and we'll go quickly, not to worry. So again, education. Now in education, if you are a fresher, all right, so you need to include bachelor's or master's, whatever you have done first. After that, your higher education, which is 11, 12, and after that, your 10th. All right. This is what information we keep in education. Now in education, there are a few things that we can include. We'll be talking about that in the course of this session, so stay tuned. Work and related experiences. Okay, now this, if you're a fresher, you'll say, Rishabh, I don't have work experience and applying for the first time. How will I put work experience? Work experience, I mean internships or anywhere you have done part-time work, you can add that also. Freelance work, you have add that also. So work and related experience means related. So internships are also added in this. Then awards and honors. All right. Here, there is also very important that whatever you have achieved, whatever awards you have got, you need to mention it in your resume. Activities and hobbies. Again, very important that you include this. Skills. This is where most of the times resume, whether it goes to the next round or not, depends on this. Skills. There are two parts to the skills. soft skills and hard skills. Hard skills is like technical skills. Let's say I'm applying for a developer type role, full stack developer. There are few things that we require like HTML, CSS, Java. Let's say if you don't have much idea also, I'm saying you that for that technical, we need these things. So we need to have those skills. Soft skills is teamwork, communication skills, time management. So it has to have a balance. We need to have a balance. And we need to mention both. Projects. Okay. Again, skills and projects. These are two things that is very, very important in any resume, because projects is what gives an idea to the recruiter that how much experience do you have actually working with whatever you have studied. Practically, how much knowledge do you have applying that? So the more practical projects that you have done, more projects is anything that you do practically. So the more experience you have applying that knowledge practically, the more better is it. So you have to mention your projects. Languages. Okay. Now this completely depends on the job that you are applying. Some jobs require that you know multiple languages. Some jobs require you have that particular language skill. So you need to mention your language like English, let's say Hindi, or maybe you know Telugu, you know Tamil, mention it in the resume. And this becomes more important. Let's say you are applying for a job which is of a transcript translator, okay, and it's in Germany. So your job is that from English to Germany you have to, or German, sorry, not Germany, German. You have to transfer to, you have to change it or convert it to German. So you need to know German so that you are able to translate it. So for that, you need to mention in the language section that you know German. So that is where language comes in. And also, if you have space to mention it, it's better to mention it. Okay, now we have come to basic. We have done an understanding. Okay. Now let me stop the screen share for some time. And now we saw basic understanding of what are the basic sections that we need to have in a resume. Now, why does it become important? As I already told you that now we know the theory of what does each section mean and what do we need to write in that section. I hope you have got the clarity. If you are not, again, go back, rewind once the session is over and again, re-watch the part, because it's very important that you can explain. Let's say I ask you, what is the education field for? You should be able to tell me in few lines, what should you put in the education field? Or if I ask you, let's say I ask you, Shubham, can you tell me in skills section, what should I put? You should tell me, or whatever your name is, you should tell me that what should you put in the skills section. If you are able to tell it, and you don't have to tell it to someone. Let's say you are watching this video, just take some time, take a sheet of paper, write down everything that we spoke about, and in 2 lines, are you able to write each section? What is it that you understood? And if you are able to, that means you have an idea now what does each section mean. And anywhere, any section you are having doubt that Rishabh, I'm not able to recollect what does that section mean. Again, re-watch so that you get idea of what does that section mean. Now this is very important because you'll have clarity of what do you want to put in that section. Now, once that is clear, time to make resume. Yes, I know you all are excited for this part. Rishabh, resume, we want to make resume. Let me know how to make this resume. So resume making, the difficult part we have spoken about. Now time to see tools. What are the tools that we need to make? Now tools, earlier you had Microsoft Office. Most of the people used to make in Microsoft Office. Okay. Now we have so many options that tools are like endless. Like if you keep searching, you will find so many tools to make resumes. Okay. So we'll be taking a look at few tools so that you have like better knowledge of tools to search for and it's easier to make resume that. Okay. So let's take a look at the tools one by one. Now, again, let's go. Let's take a look at the tools that we need. I'll show you the slide and then we'll go to the tools section. Okay. So I will first start with the first tool, that we will be taking a look at so that you have an idea about the tools that we'll take a look at. So let's take a look at this tool. Give me a second so that I can show you the tools. And now the tools that I'm showing you all, these are not the only tools. Okay, one thing, there are many tools, but I'll give you an idea so that you know where to start from. Now, let's show you the first tool. Are you all ready? Simple. These tools are going to help you make your resume easier. First, this one you all know, ChatGPT. Now, why is this important? Let's say you are writing your summary. Okay. Now you have basic idea what skills you want to put, but you don't know how to actually frame it. You can use this tool. Second, let's say you did certain project. Okay. And you wrote one sentence about that project, but you are not very sure whether this is perfect, it's good or not. Again, you can use ChatGPT. So this is something which will help you frame the resume in terms of content. Okay, this is the first tool. Moving on, now we'll be taking a few tools where you can actually make the resume. Now, content part I have given you idea, ChatGPT, use it to make the content. Now, once you have the content, we need to know what tools to use. So first, I will show you a few AI tools. These are new latest tools. You might have heard about this, you might have not heard about it, but these are latest tools which use AI. So it helps you make your resume faster. Now, some of these tools that we are talking about already have ChatGPT integrated. What that means is that you type a few words and directly the tool will start helping you make the full sentence. But just in case you want to do it manually, because you might use any other tool also, I showed you the main tool. Okay. Now we have this one tool which is called resi.ai. Again, here you can make resume. We'll take a look at the complete site once so that you have an idea what does each one feature, what features do we get with each tool. And Rishabh, you might have a question, Rishabh, tools, but how do I select it? I'll tell you. Stay tuned, I'll tell you as we go. Okay. So let's take a look. First one is Resi. Okay. So this one, again, what we will do is that I will take you through the tools one by one so that we get an idea the number of tools that are available. Okay. So this is now second tool, which is resume awarded. It improve your resume and LinkedIn profile. You can see all these are AI based. Now, why AI based? Because AI meaning will help you make the resume faster. Okay. Now let's go next one, which is skillroads.com. Again, here resume making service. Next is Enhance CV. Enhance CV resume builder helps you get hired at top companies. Okay, so these all will help you make your resume faster. Next, we have again hiration.com. So again, AI based, latest, you can take full features. Now we have come to all the AI based resume making tools. Now, how will you decide which tool to actually select? Now you told me, Rishabh, that these are all the tools, but how do I decide which one to select? There are so many tools. I'll show you two more tools and then I'll tell you the answer. Stay tuned. So coming to Flow CV. Now, this is not an AI one, but again, this is free. So you can make one resume completely free of cost, because you might have that question, Rishabh, I want free one. Which one is free? So all of these give trial options with few features enabled and disabled. This one will let you make one resume, one page resume completely like free of cost. So you can use this. Again, it has complete sections so that you can add your details. Next one, Novo Resume. Again, this one lets you make one page resume completely free of cost without any restriction. Some templates are free, some of them are paid, so you have to see that. But again, through this, you can make your resume. Again, next one is in Google, if you see Docs, we all have Gmail. So in Docs also, there are resume templates. Few, but again, you can make your resume from this. There are two more options, which is Canva and MS Word. MS Word is like old school. We don't want to use it now because it's a lot more complex. You have to start from scratch, but there are templates there also. And if you are comfortable with MS Word, you can use that, or Drive or Canva. Canva will be taking a look at the later part because I have created today's resume that I want to show you all on Canva. Again, Canva free templates are available and paid templates are available. So we'll be taking a look at both so that you get an idea how to make it. All right. Now, screen share stop. We have seen what are the tools that are like there so that you can make your resume. Now we have an idea of the tools that we need to make the resume. Next part is to see examples. All right. So it's very important. Again, let me go to screen share so that I can show you that what is the next part that we'll be going to. So here we go. Let me just come back here so that we can see our slide. Okay. So now time for examples. Now, why is this example part so important? Rishabh, I want to make a resume. Yes, we are coming. We'll be there. But before that, we need to see examples. Why examples? I'll come. All right. So I hope you all are enjoying it. And if you are, again, quick reminder, like and subscribe. Now, time for examples. Examples. Why are they important? As I told you at first only that once you have an idea about examples, it's easier to make a resume. Okay. So let's go to the example one by one. So for example, if I tell you, there are a lot of websites. Okay. If you go to Google and search resume examples, resume samples, you will get a lot of websites. Now, your task is to spend time analyzing the resume. How will you analyze it? We'll take a look at the upcoming. We will see that so that you get an idea of how to analyze. So I will show you one website where we can get resume samples. There are a lot of websites that you can search on Google. One of the website is Kick Resume. Now here you can make a resume as well as see samples of resume. How to see? Let's go to screen sharing so that you all can see with me. All right. So let's go screen sharing on, and now you will be able to see this website where we have resume samples. Now let's take a look at few resume samples. So you see here we have resume selected. There is also option for cover letter. If you want to see, you can select your industry that you want to take up, and after that you can select your profession. There is also an option here to select only people who got hired, which means that all the resumes that you will see are from people who got hired. Now there are resume samples where they send to that particular company, and then there are examples which are selected. So they got placed in that company, that resume got selected. So I have ticked it so that it's better that we see only people who got to the next round. Now, if we come down here, you'll be able to see all the resumes. Now, what is it that we see? First, what is it that the person is applying for? Here you can see property manager. Next, we can see human resource intern. Next, we can see Accenture software engineering team lead. Then we have other languages also here, plus English also. You can see aeromobile design engineer. So we can see what is that person has applied for. Next, we have a quick overview of the template. So that suppose any template, you're like, Rishabh, this template looks really nice. You can click on it and see the resume. And at the end, down we have the companies that have taken that, like they have been hired by these companies. So you can see the company names here. Now this page is where you get complete idea about. Now I have selected a general one. You can go more in depth and search for a particular industry. So you can see there are so many options here that you so many options. You can see here Amazon, they have been hired by, and different roles. So you can have different roles and you can actually see what is it that they made. Now also let me show you. Let's say you are in administrative and let's say you are a facilities manager. So here we have facilities manager templates. Okay. Now let's say if we go to more of let's go down IT. Okay, IT industry, and let's go and select network engineer. Okay, for network engineer, what do we have? Okay, again we have here options. So you can see that for every role there are different templates and examples available. Now suppose you come across a situation where, Rishabh, I have particular job that I'm applying for, it's not there in this. How do I search? So one thing is, take a generalized overview of that resume that is there here, and then whichever job you are applying for, try to tweak it. Another thing that you can do is go to Google, that job profile, and then you search resume samples. You might find it, but if you're not able to find it, take a look at the generalized one. You will see certain patterns that we'll also take a look at now, and then you can make your resume. Okay. So this is the website that we'll be taking a look at. Now there are few resumes that I have shortlisted so that we can analyze the resume a little bit more in detail. And in these resumes, we have freshers, we have experienced people. Now you might say, Rishabh, why experienced? I am a fresher. Why do I need to know what experienced people are doing? Why? Because there are some things that experienced people will put little bit more because they have worked in the industry. They will add certain things that they know recruiter is looking for. Now, we might not have the work experience, but we can add certain things that experienced person has added in the resume that we can also add. So it is very important that we don't skip experienced people thinking that it is not relevant to us, because we might find something that we can also put in the resume and we can help the recruiter see that, oh, this guy has put, or this girl has put this in the resume. Good, good. So we'll take that to the next round. So let's take a look. Now, first, Cisco Value Engineering Consultant resume template. Okay. Now let's start. First, we have the name of the person. We have an image here. I'll talk about image, whether you need to put or not. Stay tuned. I'll talk about it once we take a look at all the templates. But let's analyze first. So while we're analyzing, we'll only see what they have done, not give that whether it is okay, what should you tweak. No. First, let's analyze what they have done because they have got selected for that job. Okay. So then we have address. So here we have address here, then contact details, and then we have website. Okay. Now, as I told you, photograph is one thing we will talk about. So I will note it down so that we can also, once we finish all the templates, we'll talk about this. Next, we have date of birth here. Again, do you need to put date of birth or not? We'll talk about. Now, let's go down. Profile we have here. So we have profile written with 5 years of experience. So this is an experienced person. Then we have education details here. Now, because they are experienced, they have only written education of bachelor's. The time that they have done this and which place they have done, Bachelor of Commerce honors. All right. Then coming to this side, we have skills here. So we have some skills that person has written. Then we have languages. And left side, if we come, we have work experience, which is very important. Okay. So we have work experience here. So what this person has done is that we have work experience starting the current present one. and where they have written what is the job role and where was it. And after that, they have written explanation for this. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Then we have the next job that they did. So this is the present one. If you go to the next one, before that, where they worked, again, few lines about it. Then again, next one, and few lines about it, date plus location. After that, we have education here. He has done MBA, and the education continues to the next line. So this is how the flow is. Okay. After that, we have skills, then languages. Then here we have graphs, which means how much knowledge that person has. Customer relations, this much. Business analysis, this much. Project management, this much. Then certificate. So he has done this certification course. Okay. Simple. Everything that is important, this person has put for Cisco value engineering. Move on to the next one. Next, we have Apple customer support. Now, Apple, you all know Apple, iPhone, MacBook. So I wanted to show you all in Apple what kind of resumes get selected. So let's go. We have a very different type of template. You see it's green color with slight gradients at the back. We have the name of the person and a quick profile here at the first. Clean look, you see it's very like different type of template they have used. It's a clean look. Then if we see here, work experience they have written. Again, few explanation, work experience, explanation, work experience, explanation. This goes on till here. Again, you see there is one format that it goes on carrying forward to the next line. Then we have continuation here. So if you see here, down again, you have date of birth, address, number, and email ID. So this is a very different type of resume template. Now, because this person was hiring, like applying for Apple, they have done something different. So this is something that can catch an eye, or it is slightly on the very different side, because if you see the address and all, they have written very much down. Okay, ideally on the top it is preferable, but it's Apple. So Apple, they do things differently. So the recruiter liked this design, so they got hired. All right. So like I told you, there is no fixed template or there is no fixed rules that this is what you need to do. Resume is something, what we are talking about, these are basic guidelines, but you can change it. You can add anything. You can do anything creative, and that might get you selected also. But if you want to be on safer side, then there are certain guidelines that we follow. Next, Dell Junior Product Line Manager. Now here, if we see, we have the name of the person. Again, we have a picture here, personal info here, and then going to here, we have work experience going on in the same format as you see. Then we have education going to the next page. Then we have projects here, school projects. Okay. So this is all the person has included in this resume. Simple, clean resume. Next, Deloitte Finance Manager. We have name, we have photo here, then we have personal info, then we have a profile which is written here. Then next we have work experience that flows to the next slide, and that's it. We have only work experience here. All right. So again, as you see, people are doing different types. Generalized, most of the fields are there, but everyone is doing in a little bit different style. Next, Disney video production assistant. Disney, you all know? I hope so. So this is for a creative work, okay, video production assistant. So we see here we have name. Again, if you see here, look at the template only, you can see, oh, it's slightly on the creative side. Quick, only Vimeo, they have given details. Why? Because if you are a creative field, you want to show your portfolio. So they have written their Vimeo here, the picture of the person, then about me. Then we have work experience going on here. Once the work experience, you can see like the person has added work experience completely. So work experience is what, as a creative professional, he has added and has got selected. So complete highlight is on work experience, and portfolio also he has added here. Next, Yamaha e-commerce executive. If we go down here, we see name of the person and we have a lot of space here. Yellow, again, the template is little bit different. We have profile, 2-line profile here, personal info, then we go with the experience, and then we have education here. Similar format when they did, where they did, what was the course, and what did they work, their work like job role, matlab job name, then they have where, and this was few information about what work they did there. Next, business analyst at Vodafone. If we see here, we have name, number, email ID, resume summary, then we have work experience here, certificates. So you can see a certificate continues. Then we have skills mentioning with you can see here different type of skills they have, and education details. So these are all mentioned here. Senior operations manager at Wipro. Okay, Wipro you all know. So we have name, again number, and their email address. What I will bring. Okay, so they have written this. You can see a top achieve. So this person has done it in a little different style. Normally we write summary or profile. This person has written what I will bring. So something different. Like recruiter, when they will read, when they are going through this, first they will read this and like, oh, the candidate has thought something different. Okay. Then we have skills gained. Again, very important. You can see operation, soft skills, and domain expertise. So the person has clearly highlighted technical and soft skills. So hard skills and soft skills divided. Plus, if you see in this graph way, they have shown, okay, this person has this much experience. This is in this skill, complete experience, a little bit less. On these skills, complete experience. So you can see skills has been highlighted properly. Okay, continuing. Work history, 12.5 years. So huge work history. So you can see 1 of 2. So there is a second page on this sample. We have 1 page, but there is a second page here where it continues because it is 12.5 years of experience. But you got an idea that what you need to put and how you can make it different. Well, this person has put a little bit creativity with what I will bring, and skills also they have divided. It looks simple, but when we created in a very normal way, but this person has done a little bit different. Next, human resource intern. So if you are looking for HR domain, then I thought we should include this also. So again, we have name, here few personal details, profile, education, volunteering, achievements. Now, because this is an internship role, so because this is an internship role, so you can see volunteering work is added here. Then we have experience also, skills. So we have skills, then cognitive traits. Okay, so you can see here the person has done little bit again different: attention control, processing consistency, planning speed. So they have tried to put little bit different way social traits. You can see parallel learning from feedback in terms of percentage plus round icons with the graphic. It will strike the recruiter when they will see this, like, oh, this person has done something different. What is it? So already I've got the attention part. Like from the resume itself, the attention you got from the recruiter. So like increases your chances of getting hired. Next, we have software development engineer at Amazon. Now, Amazon, we all know the company. So here again, we need to know what kind of resumes get selected here. So we have name, personal information, then we have profile, work experience. So one by one work experience and then a little bit about that. And then we go down, we have projects and education. Okay. Now, examples, samples we saw. So many samples. And why I spent so much time on sample is that you need to know what is that pattern that is going on. It's very important to recognize the pattern because by now you might have seen all these people got hired. Ideally, you will tell me, Rishabh, these people are writing same fields only, that few fields only they are repeating again. So I'll tell you, that is why I told you resume making is easy. So the fields are same only. Only that because you're making for the first time and you have to create the content. It might feel like, it is difficult, but it is not difficult. Same format, same field. Sometimes some things you can do creatively if you want, but most of the people they have got selected even if they do normal, just making the field and writing properly what you did, all your qualifications, everything that you think is required for the job, you will get selected. So basic idea now we have how to make the resume. Samples are done. Now, samples, we took a look at generalized for all different professionals. Now, let's say you are applying for a particular job. And for that job, you want to see examples. How do you see? Go to Google, that particular job profile and search examples, resume samples, resume samples. Suppose on Google, you're not able to find this way. Now, Rishabh, what to do? So you are searching for that particular profile, you are not able to find samples. Go a little bit away, like one step before. Let's say you are searching for in content creation, you are searching for content creator. Okay, now in content creator, you are not able to find anything. So let's go search for a marketing. What kind of resumes are there? Search for those samples. Or in video line, video production, video manager, for video field, what kind of resumes are there? So whenever you're not able to find for a particular profile, go a little bit like back and search what is the main field. So if you are searching for, let's say, subdomain, it's not there. Go one step back. That domain is not there. Go one step back. So keep going back. You will find somewhere that resume samples are there. Now, resume samples are mostly to get an idea. So it is important that you see at least few samples so that you get an idea of what kind of like what and all you have to write and what kind of resumes are getting selected. Okay. Now, sampling is done. What will we take a look at? All right. So once we have samples done, it is important that we know few tips. Okay. Now, before you actually start making the resume, there are few tips that I want you all to know so that you can follow it. And while making, you use these tips to make your resume the best, because that is our ultimate aim, that we want to make the best resume. And what's our motto? Resume making is easy. I want you all to repeat again. Just say these lines. Resume making is easy. And we are going to do it in a tone so that you remember it. Resume making is easy. This is the tone that you are going to remember. Every time you come across any problem while making resume, what is our motto? Resume making is easy. Once again, repeat. Resume making is easy. Okay, this is our motto. And moving on, now we have an idea of resume samples. Time to go to tips. Now, where do we find the tips? Let's go to the tips. This is there on our slideshow. So moving on, let me again share my screen. and I hope you all are enjoying the session. So let's go screen share. Time to go to tips. And I hope you all are able to see my screen. Let's go full screen. And we have tips. Now, tips, first one. Time to give yourself credit. What do I mean by this? You have done well. Till now, whatever education you did, whatever internships you did well. First, you have to think you did well. So you have to show yourself that you give well. So wherever you did something good, you have to show it on the resume. So you have to give yourself credit, meaning everything that you think you did good, time to put it on the resume. That I'm good in this, I'm good in that, I have done this. You have to write that. That is what you are good in. And one thing that happens while you're making resume is that, Rishabh, I don't think I'm good in anything. I haven't done anything much. What should I write? You have done. Let me first tell you, you have done it. But just that you're not able to remember it now. So how to remember it? Just close your eyes for, let's say, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Keep your eyes closed and think about your journey. Let's say from your bachelor's that you have done, and think what and all you have done. Just think about what and all you have done. You will be able to find certain things that you will be able to get. This is something that I did good, because now content making is more important. Tools are there. We saw samples of how to put the fields, but content making is the most important one. So you have to think a little bit in that. Next, highlight your education. Now, education, you have to highlight. Why? Because let's say you're applying for a technical role which says that minimum qualification bachelor's in engineering. So you have to mention in your resume that you have done bachelor's. Or let's say you are applying for a marketing job, and in that job requirement is written MBA mandatory. Now, if you don't mention this in education, you only mention till bachelor's, you don't mention master's, then how will the recruiter select you? So very important that you highlight your education. And when you're highlighting the education, should you mention your marks or should you not mention your marks? This is like a question that all of you have, mostly, who are not sure whether they've done good. Is this good marks or this not good marks? People who have done 89, 90, 95%, they are confident they will put their marks. But if you are a little bit on the lower side, then you will think whether you want to put this marks or not. I'll give you a few seconds. Think, should you put or should you not put? Now, coming to the answer. Ideally, it's always better to put your marks if there is a certain qualification or minimum requirement that company is looking for. Let's say company has written in their job description that minimum overall throughout education you need to have 60% or above. So you have to mention in your resume that those things are written, because if you are not writing, then recruiter is not sure whether you have done it or not. So it's better to be clear upfront. But suppose the company are applying for JD, they haven't mentioned it as such, can skip it. But ideally, it's better to write it, your marks and grades, so that from front we are clear this much. This is what we have got. Next, write professionally. Now, when we are writing the resume, it has to be in a professional manner. Anytime you think you are not able to create sentences properly, then what you do is that you go to our tools, this ChatGPT, and write your sentence and maybe tell it, can you rephrase this in a better manner? So you will get an answer. So from that, you will be able to add in certain points that you are having difficulty writing the sentences. Don't overdo it. What do I mean by this? Now, lot of times there's so much information that you are writing that it becomes very, very complex of what is it that this person is good at. So much information. So don't overdo it. We have to be that it's information is there, but it's not too much. Okay. Avoid jargon. Now, this is something I would say if there are some technical terms that is required for your job, add it. But if there is some way you can explain that in a simple manner, then it's better to put it, because if I am the recruiter, let's say HR recruiter, I don't have much idea about your technical words that you are using. So I won't be able to understand what you are trying to say. Technical skills is different. I'm saying in explanation, try to keep it more simple so that people are able to understand when they are reading. Technical skills you have to add. In technical skills, you can't skip certain tools or requirements that they are looking for. Now, think beyond just jobs. What I mean is that when you are writing, don't just think, get like only internship I'll put. Maybe you have worked in certain NGO, you have done certain volunteering work. Add that, because that shows that other than, let's say, only education, you're doing something extra also. You have some other interns. Let's say you go to music competitions. Okay, add that. That's something that not directly in your job it's going to affect you, but you are interested, you play guitar, so why not mention it? And keep things relevant. So we are mentioning these things, but overall, try to keep it relevant to the job that you are applying for. Let's say I'm applying for a coding job. All right, I don't have anything written on the resume which shows that I have that knowledge to do that coding. Then how will my resume get selected? So keep things relevant. Okay. Now, where are we in keep things relevant? Now, moving on to the next one. What more tips do we have? What more tips? Start with your story. What I mean is that the profile that you are writing, it should feel like a story that you are writing. So profile ideally should, when you are showing it to someone, they will, oh, nice one. So this expression should come when you are writing your profile summary or objective. So that is your story. Now over to it. Tell the truth. What I mean by this is that, again, whatever you are writing on your resume, it has to show the information which is correct. Okay. Now you are making up certain things which are not actually like true. You are making up because that job is asking you that there are certain things in the description, job description. You think, hey, Rishabh, I'll just put it. Let me just fill that thing. It's okay. No. You have to tell the truth in your resume. Everything that you have done is only written in your resume. And finally, seek help if you need it. This is very important that most of us don't want to do. We don't want to ask for any type of help. So we make the resume and then we are like, let's start applying everywhere without finally thinking that let me just ask my friend, let me ask someone who is working that company. I know that person. Let me just share it with them. What do you think about my resume? Should I improve it? Is there anything I can improve? These few sentences can help you a lot in saving a lot of time later when you're applying, and then if you're not getting selected, then you'll be like, why my resume is not getting selected? Better to avoid it. Ask for help whenever you're getting struggling with anything. Ask that what should I do? Reach out to people, ask your friends, they might know it. At the end, once you finish the resume, again show it to your friends, show it to someone who's working in the industry so that they can give you feedback on what things you can improve. What happens is that we generally think we know we have done everything properly, but there might be something which you are missing, which only someone else will see. You thought you made the best resume, but something you have missed. That person will tell you that. So always seek for help. Now, before moving on to the next part, there were two questions that we had to talk about. One was photograph and one was date of birth. If you remember, we were talking about this in our resume samples that we were seeing, that should you put your photograph or not? Ideally, on resume, it's better you don't put photograph unless you are applying for a job where how you look matters. Why? I'll tell you this. Now, let's say I'm a recruiter. Okay. Now, when I see a certain photo, there is automatically a bias that is happening when I see your photo. I don't want that to happen. Let's say I'm applying for a video content creator role. Let's say I'm applying for a YouTuber role in certain company. Then they need to see how I look. That is important to them because it is a camera facing role. So they need to see how I look. That is one of the criteria they might be looking for. So I need to put, let's say someone is applying for a modeling role in certain company. So they need to see how that person looks. So that is where you have to add your photograph. If let's say I'm applying for a software development engineer, where there is no relation to my looks, how it matters. It's all about technical skills. So no need to add. Why to add this information where it can create a bias for the recruiter? Maybe most of the recruiters don't do it, but why to give this information? It's not required. Okay. Next, date of birth. Again, there's something which is not required. We are seeing few people who have added in their resume, and it's fine if they have added it, but ideally it's not at all required. That information is something you can skip. Okay, your name in personal information. What is important is that your name, number, email, and ideally your LinkedIn detail should be there. Now, coming to mistakes. Why are we talking about mistakes, Rishabh? Why mistakes? Okay, let's go. Next slide. Now we will talk about mistake. Let me just go to the slide before I start speaking about it. Okay, now, all right, we are here. Mistakes. Why are we talking about mistakes? Now, when you're making your resume, what happens is that as freshers or someone applying for first job, or you're making a resume, let's say after 2 years of doing work, there are certain mistakes that you might have not done before, or now while making you might make, that is better to avoid. Because if we know the mistakes that happen, common mistakes that can happen while making resume, you won't do those mistakes. And finally, we want our resume to get selected. So we should know what are the mistakes to avoid and common mistakes that happen. Okay, coming to mistakes. Now, let's take a look at the mistakes. Mistakes. Okay. Before we actually move on to creating a resume, coming to the mistakes, I haven't added it to the slideshow. Why? Because I want you all to listen to me, because this is something that you have to keep in mind. So focus, pay attention. These are mistakes that are happening. Ideally, you will say, Rishabh, I don't do this mistakes. This is very common, man. I know this. Don't have to worry about this. But what happens is that even though we don't want to make mistakes happen, so you have to be extra careful while we discuss this. That is why I want you all to concentrate, listen, and see me so that you don't do these mistakes. First, grammatic or spelling error. This is something that happens a lot. Some spelling you have written very wrong, or somebody else made a mistake which the recruiter might see and they might be like, this person has not paid attention while making resume. So grammatical or spelling mistakes, make sure you read your resume once before submitting. While making, after you fix your resume, read it 2-3 times, show it to few people. There might be some mistake that you are not able to see, that you have made a mistake. So show it to people. Next, numbers. One thing again we miss is that if you can add numbers, it's always better. Like let's say I worked on a project which helped the response time increase by 20%. Okay. This has a better impact than just creating, I worked on a project which helped reduce the response time. Now, when you just say reduce the response time, it's not very specific. It's generalized. Whereas when I'm using reduce the response time by 20%, now I have a number with me. And numbers are always something that the recruiter is looking for. The more numbers you can add, the more better it is, because numbers show that you knew where you were and where you reached. So always add numbers. One thing that Most of the freshers or first time if you are applying for a job, you miss this. And for experienced people, this is even more important because you need to know the numbers. Next thing is one size fits all. What does this mean? Now you might be working in a domain when there are subfields, and now you are applying for that particular subfield. Now you made one resume which was generalized, but for that only particular type of role, there are some skills or certain things that is required. In your general resume, you are not able to add that. And in your whatever subdomain you are applying, you need to make one more resume which highlights those things which is important for that subdomain. So have few resume variations depending on if you are applying for a lot of different type of roles. Okay. Next, when you are actually writing about, let's say, experiences, internship experiences, don't just highlight duties that you used to do. I used to do this, I used to do this, handle this. No, accomplishments are more important. So highlight the accomplishments. Duties are also there, but accomplishments also you need to highlight. Then writing too long or writing too short. This is what happens. As I told you, you need to fill. So ideally, your resume should be 1 page. Okay. Now in 1 page, it should not look, first mistake is that it looks very blank. You haven't added much. So it shouldn't look blank. Or it shouldn't be that you made 3-4 pages of resume written full in detail. So that is also not required. So not too long, not too short. Ideally 1 page. If it's going little bit more, you're not able to, Rishabh, I have a lot of information. I can't do it 1 page. Okay. On to the second page. Try to keep it max second page. But 1 page is what I would say. Keep it. Try to give as much highlighted information as possible in that 1 page. Then visually too busy. Now we know too long or too short we did. Now we have rectified that mistake. Your template, now you have added all the details, but template is not that nice. When you show it to someone, they're like, template is not looking that nice, or it's just too busy, too much information, too many things. It's not looking that good. So what happens is that you might think, Rishabh, I've added all the details properly. How is this going to affect whether I'm getting selected or not? Now, when the recruiter is looking at your resume, when they see the resume, it looks good or not, that is the first impact. Anytime you look at anyone's resume, anything, let's say I'm seeing a car. Look, you first see the look, whether it is SUV, sedan, hatchback. So you see it first and then you start seeing the features and all. Similarly, when I'm seeing a resume, first thing that the recruiter will look at, how good is it looking, and then they will start reading it. So if in the look department only, the recruiter, it's not looking that good, so they might not read it because they go through so many resumes. So simple thing, if template is not that good, change the template. If there's too much information, reduce it. But when you just look at your resume, it should look good. First, from internally, you should feel it looks good, and then show it to people. They should say, your friends, anyone, that yes, it's looking good. Okay. Contact information. Now what happens is that you made your resume really good, but let's say your phone number, 1 digit you skipped, or 1 digit you missed it, or some digits are missing. Don't do this, because recruiters will contact you through phone number. If your number is wrong, even though you have the skills, they won't be able to contact you. Or next is email ID. You haven't mentioned at all. So how will they send you any emails? Email ID, mention it. Now, coming to email ID. Email ID also try to keep it your name. Let's say my name is Rishabh. So rishabh@gmail.com. If it's not there, something rishabh.chatterjee or anything like that. Try to keep it a little bit on the professional, simple side. Not something like rockstar4you@gmail.com. Excited to be@gmail.com. Or some other name only you are writing. My name is Rishabh. You have written nitesh.gk@gmail.com. So it doesn't give a good impact that your name is Rishabh and email ID is nitesh@gk. So email ID, try to keep it related to your name or keep it simple and not too much fancy like rockstar4you.com. Okay. And next, finally, I would say that when you're naming your document, all right, so keep it simple. Like let's say your name is Ramesh. So Ramesh resume dot PDF. Try to keep it in PDF format. And so naming, what happens I've seen is that lot of you just write GKFG4321.PDF or MMMFGIG. It automatically creates something and you have just, or you have written template1.pdf and you are submitting like this only. Why? This, when the recruiter will download the resume, they'll be able to see this, that you have just done a template something or some random thing is written. Why? We want to be professional. Simple thing we can do. Like write your name, Rishabh resume.pdf, or your full name, something like that, which looks good. So naming is also important. It's something that we miss, but you have to keep it in mind. All right. So mistakes are done. I know you all won't make more mistakes. Finally, time to move on to resume making. Let's see an example that I have created and I'll show you what I have done. Now, this is not the ultimate resume that you will be seeing. You can make better resumes, and every time you create resume, it will get better and better. So I'll give you an idea so that you can see that it's a different type that I have created in my style. You will create in your style. Okay. So very important that let's take a look at how does this resume look. Let's go again to our slide. The time for let's create a resume. So let me show you first. Time 2. What do we want to do? So let me actually first go to our resume that I want to show you on. I have created this on Canva. You can create it anywhere as you like, but since I was using Canva and it is free of cost, there are free templates as well as paid templates. I wanted to show you on Canva how to create it. Plus, the resume that we are seeing now is for a full stack developer fresher job. So I'm applying for a full stack developer fresher job. So accordingly, I have written. Now for every industry, it depends on what is it that is very important for that industry. For now, we are applying for IT related field and a full stack developer. So let's see how have I made the resume. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about the resume. I tried my best, but obviously there are chances you might make better than me. So let me show you the resume so that we can all see it together. All right. So here, as you can see on my screen, hopefully it's clear that this is my resume. Overall template, clean look, simple look I have kept. Let's go. It's on Canva. Let's go zoom and let's see what are the sections that I have added. First, let's start with name. So I have written my name in the first line. Then I have written my address, my Gmail ID, my LinkedIn ID, and my GitHub ID. Now, LinkedIn is very important because most of the times nowadays, recruiters see your LinkedIn profile. GitHub I have added because this is a technical role and I am applying for a job where I need to show how is my GitHub profile. So for a full stack developer, GitHub is something that recruiters look for. Now, maybe if you are a creative professional, you might have want to add on Vimeo or maybe some other place where you want to show your work portfolio. So you can add it there. Now, when you're adding these things, I have added a link here. Okay. So that when you click on the link, it goes to LinkedIn. So always make sure that you have links in the part that you want them to go to. Like LinkedIn is a link. That is why you can see it's underlined. On Canva, we have a feature of adding links. Now on any tool that you are adding, most of the times you have an option to add links there so that anytime a recruiter clicks on it, that link will open, your profile will open. Okay. So make sure these links are there. Then first we start with skills. Now for technical roles, particularly in full stack web development, skills are what the recruiters are looking for first. So we have all the skills here. These left side, if we see, I have written the technical skills or hard skills that are required, and on the right side I've written soft skills that I think I am good at. Okay. Then coming down, we have projects. I've written 2 projects and I've explained what I have done. Ideally, in this case, if you have numbers, always better, and I have written my date when I have done it. Adding numbers, as I told you, will have a better impact. Coming to education, I have written my bachelor's, what I did, CGP, and when I did it. Again, here I have my junior college, what I studied, marks, and when I did it. Coming down, I have my internship experience. Again, company name, role, what I did there, when I did it. Again, company name, role, what I did there, when I did it. Next, we have awards and achievements. And here I have written what was it and when I did it. So this is a clear, simple template that I created. Now, there are few fields that I have not written. Let's say you can add languages. You can add, let's say, hobbies. So you can add those. All right. But for full stack web development, these are the important ones. And I had enough content to fill one page. So I have done it. Now, if you ask me, Rishabh, for this role, what is the recruiter actually looking for? It's skills and projects that they look for. All right. So I have written that here. Now, coming to, okay, now we have, let's stop the screen share. We have seen our sample resume also, how you want to create it. One I created, but it's time for you to now create the resume. All right. Now, how will you create it? So I will show you. All right. Let me just show you first what is the process of creating this resume, because it's important that you know how you need to start. So let me go here and let me show it to you. Okay, so screen sharing again on. So what I've done, let's say this is a doc that I name RC resume. This is what I was creating to create this complete course for you. But now you see here, we have our profile summary that I've written. Then I have education details, achievements, all the different fields that I wanted to add. I have written it here. Why? Because before I actually start seeing the tools, seeing the websites, I need to have my content ready. Okay. Content is very important. Once you have the content, there are endless tools, endless websites that you can go, put the tool, change the templates, free templates, paid templates, lot of options. But making that content is the most important. And that is where it's like you take a sheet of paper, write down the content first, or maybe on Google Docs, write the content. Once you have the content ready, okay. And I would suggest when you're writing the content, the fields that we spoke about first, write for all the fields that you think is possible, like certifications or education, projects, courses. Write down everything, like A to Z, write down all the content in sheet of paper or on Google Docs or anywhere online, notepad, wherever you want to write it. Once you have clarity on what you are going to write, 90% of the work is done. Now you know what you are going to write. Next, 10% is selecting website. You have to try few websites to see what you like, what you don't like, selecting the templates. Once you have this, then finally it comes to tweaking it a little bit to different jobs that you're applying or maybe having few templates. But make your content first, then select your website, then add the content, and finally ask someone what do they feel about the resume. Once you have all this, start applying for jobs. Now, we have covered everything from scratch, A to Z, everything that you needed to make a resume. But your work has just started now. Now you know how to make a resume. But time now to take that sheet of paper or open Google Docs or any notepad and start writing the content. Because once you start writing, you will get a Good idea. And you know what is our motto once again? Resume making is easy. Again, repeat with me. Resume making is easy. So, with that motto, I know you all can do it. Start making your resumes. Try it. You make few variations. All the best. I know you all will get selected for whatever role you are applying for. Just make your resume and start applying. Alright, that will be it from my side. I hope you enjoyed the session. And if you did, a quick click on the like button and subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon, and do let us know what more workshops do you want us to make like this topics. Like, let us know the topics on which you want the workshops on. And before we finish, if you want to see more detailed courses like this, then do check out our website, which is edyoda.com. Link will be in description, where we have 150 plus job relevant courses and 20,000 plus hours of content, which will help you in upskilling yourself. And once you have the skill, you'll be able to apply for the jobs. You have this video to see the resumes, how to create it. And we also have interview preparation videos on this channel, where you can actually learn how to do interviews in a proper manner, in a good manner. And with that, you'll be able to get placed at the job that you're looking for. With that, we'll be coming to the end of this, and hope you liked it. Like, share, subscribe. And again, finishing with our motto, which is going to be resume making is easy. All right.